Last week we had Holly Holm fighting Irene Aldana. We didn't make.
Irene.
No way.
I swear to God, it's
Irene. I've
Irene.
never heard someone say her first name. Okay,
Irene
so Irene
Aldana, yeah.
Aldana, she fought. We didn't do a podcast last week because we're sexist. But
Oh, Jesus.
no. We had some stuff going on with
Yeah,
university.
we have personal life. We
Yeah,
got lives.
we had a lot of stuff to do, and the card wasn't exactly the best thing in the world, besides for maybe Jorgen De Castro fighting Carlos Felipe, fight of the year,
That
uh,
fight
and,
sucked.
and Holly Holm. Obviously, that was a
Yeah,
masterclass
not a terrific
fight.
card, but a terrific main event, in my opinion. A very one-sided main event, but a really enjoyable one to watch, at least in my
Yeah,
eyes.
Holly Holm is she's up there with the other specimens in MMA. She's just something special to watch. And I know she fights at the same gym as John Jones, and that kind of looked like a John Jones performance where it's
Hmm.
pretty much just outpointing, one step ahead the whole time. Just beautiful fundamental techniques. And Irene, is that how you say it? Irene?
Irene,
Irene
yeah.
Aldana just didn't. She seemed kind of stunned, didn't know what to
Hmm.
do. And I don't think that's because she's bad or a poor fighter per se. I just think Holly Holm is too tricky and she has too many tools in her toolbox. And I mean, that gets overwhelming at times for fighters. And
Yeah,
what are you going to
I
do
mean,
about that?
it's like you said, it was almost a John Jones-esque performance where she was staying on the outside, using the low kicks and the body kicks to just really keep Irene at range and prevent her from getting any kind of offense off, which was really impressive. Um, I agree with what you said about Holly being like this specimen. I mean, she's 38 years old, but she's ridiculously jacked, and I mean, she's still got it. She's showing no signs of slowing down. She has shown some signs in recent years, but this fight was no evidence of that. I mean, you could have told me this was the Holly Holm that beat Ronda Rousey, like that level of that high level. I mean, she looked excellent. And like you said, Irene is no slouch. I mean, they didn't just feed her some can to try to get her back on track. Irene is a legit contender. Um, one of the best in that division right now. Although that division is, it's a little hit or miss sometimes, but certainly one of the best. And Holly made it look easy. I mean, just brilliant game plan, brilliant movement, insane cardio. Like I said, staying on the outside. She threw that body kick, that push body side kick, like 30,000 times. Irene could not get a beat on it. She could not figure out what to do. It reminded me a bit of the John Jones Anthony Smith performance, where you had this dog in Anthony Smith, this guy that just always moves forward and like this marauder that just uh, normally overwhelms his opponents. But then he's met with this match, this guy who is just brilliant at maintaining a range where he can hit you, but you can't hit him. And suddenly your offense is completely nullified, and you're just a sitting duck in there and getting pieced up. That's exactly what Holly did. I mean, the main goal of this game, in its most basic and rudimentary form, is do damage without receiving damage. That's precisely what she did perfectly. It was 5 rounds of pure brilliant striking, and she was doing this great thing where she finished just about every round with a takedown. So I mean, just really playing the game smart, kind of like how Israel does it, where she was not playing your game, you were playing her game. You know what I mean? She was in control all the time, even when she was moving backwards, even when she was moving laterally, the same way Izzy does it. You were always playing her game and falling into her traps that she was setting up for you, and just finishing every round ahead on the striking and then nailing that takedown perfectly, scoring points with the judges. I mean, that was a perfect 5 round performance by Holly Holm. She still got it. She's 100% still got it.
I can't wait to see where she goes from here. And speaking
Yeah.
on that, where does she go from here? I mean, you saw Jermaine Duranamy just had a fantastic finish too. She's really showing that she has all these these tools in her toolbox as well. You know, not just a fantastic striker, but great on the ground and whatnot. And I almost want to
That
say
does
put them
seem
together as the fight to
like the
make.
fight.
Yeah, because Holly recently, well, not recently, but in the near past, lost to Jermaine Durandamy,
Hmm.
and they both just look so. They just look so special. I think that's the fight to make. But the only question is, does Jermaine Durandamy, is she, should they give her a title shot at Amanda Nunes first, or should they give her Holly? I don't know. I think they should give her Holly, but I've heard people saying she deserves a title shot. Personally, I don't think she's going to defeat Amanda Nunes, but the winner of Holly and Jermaine Durandamy, maybe they have a pretty good case on who's fighting in that.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you do Holly and Jermaine first because that's number one, number two contenders right there, and because Amanda and Nina Ansaroff just had their kid, so I don't see Amanda fighting for some. I mean, she's probably going to take some time, and even then, I mean, Amanda is going to pick and choose which fight she wants now. She's not just going to take whatever. I mean, she's been kind of open about that, where she's kind of nearing the end of her career, um, which I think is smart on her part. Not that she's shown signs of degrading as a fighter, where I'm like, Jesus Christ, Amanda, you need to retire. No, it's not that at all. It's more so like she's looked so tremendous and been so dominant that I think she's like she's getting to the point where she's like, well, I did my thing. I will leave my legacy as the greatest female mixed martial artist of all time. See ya. So I think she's only got a handful of fights left in her before she calls it quits. Like I said, I think that's the smart move. Leave your legacy intact, go out on top. That's great. I mean, you made money, you have a family now, do what you gotta do. But going back to Jermaine and Holly, I think that's definitely the fight to make because not just have they both looked very good lately, and they both look like very well-rounded mixed martial artists, right? They're both known for their striking, both Holly and Jermaine. They're both known as some of the most brilliant female mixed martial artist strikers in the sport. Both have kickboxing backgrounds, as I believe. Is Holly a kickboxer or just a
Yes,
boxer?
she's more of a
Sure.
kickboxer. Kind
Yeah,
of
well
like
now she
Valentina
is, but
Shevchenko. I think back in the
I,
day she was just a boxer though. That's where her
okay.
like fundamentals are. But she's got a mean
That's
left high kick.
Yeah, that's what I'm alluding to. Not necessarily that she's just a boxer now, but back before she really, like pre Ronda Rousey and all that. I can't remember if she was a boxer or a kickboxer. And I believe Jermaine also kickboxing background. But nevertheless, they've both looked like really just well-rounded mixed martial artists lately, landing takedowns in both of their fights, both of their recent fights. I mean, and looking quite dominant on the ground. And that's the thing you need if you're going to beat Amanda Nunes, because what did Amanda do when she fought Jermaine and Jermaine was seemingly superior on the feet? She took her down and she controlled her on the ground, and that's how she won the fight. So if you're Jermaine, you definitely want to build up your ground game so you're able to face that challenge, if and when it comes again. Um, and you could say the same thing for Holly. I think it's very smart by both of them, and uh, I do think that's the fight to make, not just from a stylistic matchup point where they both look tremendous and they both look well-rounded, but there's history there. There was that controversial first fight where Jermaine beat Holly for the title, and she had multiple instances of hitting her after the bell. This is basically that fight was why people stopped liking Jermaine. Jesus Christ, I can't
It's a
say her
tough
name.
name. I'll give you that.
Jermaine Durandamy. I'm saying it too quickly.
Yeah.
That's my problem. But that fight is largely why she lost so many fans and why the MMA community is so against her. I think it's a bit overstated, obviously, and people exaggerate it just a bit. But there were numerous instances of some foul play in that fight, and she won a title for it, and then on top of it all, vacates it right after.
I think that was
And
the big thing, the vacating and
yeah,
refusing to fight Cyborg. I mean,
yeah, but like,
yeah,
would you fight fucking Cyborg? Because I
no.
sure as shit wouldn't.
Especially after
you
she
know,
popped so many times for steroids and whatnot. She's got a bad history of drug use. I mean, look
yeah.
at her. You
I
can
mean,
kind of
that's a
tell.
fair I think that's a fair argument,
Yeah,
right?
Dana White would
Like,
not agree though. He was very upset, and I think he turned a lot of fans against her too, making her look real bad. So
yeah,
there's a good bit of stuff there, but I think you're right. I think it is overdone a good bit because she has fair reasoning for a lot of what she does. Maybe not the hitting after the bell.
yeah.
Uh,
The foul play
yeah,
during the fight it was
that was
was
consistent as well. That wasn't just one round.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
pattern of
not
yeah,
great.
not good at all.
And on top of it all, people love Holly Holm. Holly Holm is adored by the MMA fan base. And why is that? Well, one, she's an awesome fighter. Two, I mean, I'm not trying to be, like, but she's attractive, and the MMA fan base is primarily male, so that's going to be a thing, that like a factor in why people like her so much. Um, but I think the biggest reason is she's very sweet, seems like just a great, awesome person. But I think the biggest reason people love Holly Holm so much, what do you think it is? Let me ask you first. What's the reason people adore Holly Holm? The number one reason.
I would just say it's her personality. She's just such a likable person, and when you give someone like that a extremely high level skill set in fighting, it's just how could you not like her? She doesn't just you know talk
Right.
nice and is nice and whatnot, but she also fights beautifully and whatnot. What would you say that number
All
one
of
thing
that
is?
is true, but there's one primary reason why people adore
Oh
Holly
yes,
Holm.
she knocked out Ronda Rousey.
She butchered Ronda
Yeah,
Rousey.
how could I
And
forget?
people love that about her. People love that. That is considered by many to be like one of the most satisfying knockouts in MMA history, right? Because Ronda was on top of the world. She was looking seemingly unbeatable, but she had also developed a real heel personality that people really couldn't stand. Holly goes into that fight an extreme underdog. People really underestimating her. People not realizing how brilliant of a striker she is in her decorated striking background. And then she fucking kicks Ronda into another dimension and has that really, beautiful moment where she just starts screaming and, crying in the octagon after winning the title. That is why people love Holly. Of course, she's had a remarkable career, but that will always be the thing that people go to, right? Like that is her defining
Right.
moment. That the same way Jorge Masvidal, kneeing Ben Askren, Conor McGregor, knocking out Jose Aldo in 9 seconds or whatever, however many seconds it was, that will always be the defining moment because not just because it's a brilliant example of striking and beautiful precision and great technique and all of that stuff, but all of the story behind it, right? The personalities, the 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 division between the two of them, it's a perfect underdog story, and that will always, I think, be a real mark in her legacy. So yeah, I mean, it was great to see her perform so well against Irene Aldana, and I look forward to the Jermaine Debrandamy rematch because I think that's the fight to make. I think it's pretty obvious. Don't wait around for Amanda because I think that's going to be a bit.
It's gonna be
but
weird when Amanda leaves this division and all of the divisions in the women's categories. It's gonna be real weird. We're gonna
it's going
see
to open stuff up
yeah,
a
we're gonna
bit.
see a lot more competition per se. I don't think it'll be fun, but I'm gonna miss her when she's gone, man. I'm just
It's
trying to
kind of
sit here
like
and imagine it.
John leaving
Yeah.
light heavyweight. It's like the end of an era, and suddenly we're entering into this new crop of talent. Like it's just different. It's gonna be different.
Hey, we'll have our next person that comes out and rules supreme on top for quite a while, I imagine. I just don't know who it's gonna be. That's the thing. Who's gonna take the crown?
You
I'd
mean
say
in
in
women's
women's
bantamweight,
bantamweight, yeah, I would say Holly
featherweight?
Holm has a pretty good chance of getting that crown, and I mean, her only losses are to extremely high level people such as Amanda Nunes herself, Valentina Shevchenko. I mean, she's one of the best, so I would say
Mm-hmm.
that she's probably next in line besides Sahara Eubanks to hold that title for a very long time.
Sahara lost her last
Yeah, she got
fight,
she got cut from
correct?
the UFC. Dana put her down.
That's
Nah,
not
she
true.
didn't.
um,
But the only other fight I wanted to mention on that card was obviously the co-main event, the greatest fight of all time. Jorgen de
Jesus.
Castro, Carlos Felipe. Very well done. Well done. And of course, Jermaine Duranamy, we talked about her. She submitted Juliana Pena. Wow. Didn't realize she had a ground game like that. I thought she was just a meathead striker. But now you know. She's got skills everywhere.
Yeah,
She's
now you
improving
know.
at a rapid rate. I think that
If you didn't know,
now you
now you
know.
know.
Yeah. I think that's about it for the Holm versus Aldana card.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
some
decent. I mean,
some great moves being made at women's bantamweight.
yeah.
Quite interesting. Men's heavyweight, not so much.
Moving on to men's bantamweight. Wow.
Oh yes.
Marlon Moraes versus Cory Sandhagen. This didn't go the way I thought it would. I thought Moraes was on a much higher level than Cory, and he looked great, don't get me wrong. But I think Cory is just he's got this wow factor, this gas tank to go along with it to just outlast someone like Marlon Moraes, who's so heavy on the hard striking and the explosive behaviors. I noticed at the end of the rounds, just the way that they both get up to walk to their corner. You know, Marlon's just kind of sitting there, breathing heavy, taking his time getting up, you know, exhausted. And then Cory Sandhagen is like jumping up, doing a backflip, sprinting back to his corner. He's not even breathing. This dude's crazy. And am I correct in saying that the commentator said he has a resting heart rate of 135 or something like that? Something
What?
wild.
That can't be
They
true.
said so. It was one of the fighters on this card. I couldn't hear what they were saying. Well, it might have been him. I don't get how that works, but I'm not obviously a
Sounds like,
cardiologist.
wouldn't you be like on the verge of death?
It's some kind of condition, but I guess it makes people really like these kind of people very hyper and active, and it kind of reminds me of someone like Cory Sandhagen. And
Jesus.
I hate to say that his knockout finish was overshadowed by something else that happened that we'll talk about in the prelims. But he had such a beautiful, what was it, a spinning? I want to say it was spinning heel kick, but he hit him with his calf. He butchered him with his calf.
I think he hit him. I think he hit him with the heel actually.
Oh, did he?
But
Okay.
it clipped right on the top of the head.
Yeah.
Which is always
It looked like something Edson Barboza would do, who also fought on this card.
yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
And Cory was spamming the feint button. Let's just be honest. He was really getting reactions out of Marlon, and he just seemed one step ahead. And Marlon was obviously putting up a great fight, landing shots himself. But Cory it just seemed like he was always one step ahead, just a fresher fighter throughout the whole thing. And he's not the most powerful dude, but as you could see, he could make it work really well. He was dropping Marlon quite a bit.
Yeah, dude.
And
I mean,
I'm impressed.
Cory looked great. Just awesome game plan, awesome work. That's your next title contender after Aljo and Peter Yan. I mean, he's got to be next in line. I don't think he's next in line for the title shot right now, but after that fight, you got to put him next. Of course, he did lose to Aljo pretty quickly a few months back, first round submission. But y'all must have forgot. Y'all must have forgot, Matthew, because this guy is still he's a gangster. He's a skinny white boy from Colorado, but he's a gangster. You know what I mean?
I think I know what you're saying.
You hear what I'm putting down, right?
Chael Sonnen versus Cory Sandhagen is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much more to say about Cory Sandhagen other than he's just one of the best bantamweights in the world right now. And he went up there against a former title contender, and made kind of seemingly easy work of him. I thought it was one of my favorite parts of the fight was when he called out his orbital's broken. Like, you remember that when he just did you hear him say that?
And Marlon's face was just like, oh shit,
he was
oh
like,
no,
shit. I don't know if his orbital was actually broken. I mean, even Cory said, like, I don't know if it was actually broken, but I said that because I wanted to kind of throw him off a bit. And then moments later, just lands this beautiful spinning heel kick that clips Marlon right on the top of the head, which it's all it takes. It's all it takes. You don't got to hit him right on the jaw. You don't got to hit him flush. You just got to, once you scalp the top of the head, that's it. Typically, it's a very delayed knockout. Like, it's Like it's like it shocks down the body, when they when they clip the top of the head like that. It's like it takes a second to like work its way through the body, like the shock wave, and then they go down like a bag of potatoes. I I saw a lot of people saying it was an early stoppage. Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. Like, and then if they let it go any longer, Dan Hardy would have jumped the cage and assaulted the
Mm.
referee. So like, what do you want? You can't win with
Dude,
like
Marlon was getting
these.
pounded on the ground after that
Yeah,
too. That
no,
was bad. I was cringing at the sight of that. He was not
that
okay.
was, that was it.
Like he looked
Like
like he
it.
was recovering well. Like when he did the backflip onto the cage, when he initially fell down. Um, but dude, he was getting battered.
I
That
saw
was a good
even
stoppage.
Yeah, I saw Ariel Helwani tweeting about it and was like, even Marlon didn't seem to mind the stoppage. Like
Yeah.
he was. It's not like he got up and was like protesting and being like, "What?" I was still like, I think he acknowledged like, yeah, he fucked me up. So
I
yeah,
tried
I think.
to look up that resting heart rate thing. I don't think it was Cory Sandhagen. But I did
Mm,
find that Stefan Struve has a resting heart rate of like 145. I guess he has
mm,
some kind of heart condition though. So
yeah,
a
and
little bit of
it's
fun.
worked very well for him, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, he's been doing fantastic lately. Very very impressive stuff there, Stefan.
Oh
But yeah, I
man.
just wanted to clear that up. I don't know what the hell the commentators were saying, or why they were. Maybe they were talking about Stefan Struve because I don't know when he's fighting next. But it's just weird.
Dude, Felder's high as fuck every time he's
Felder's
in the
getting he's getting blasted in that booth.
booth. Felder goes
Yeah.
backstage with Dan Hardy and John Gooden and gets probably smokes meth before each card.
Hmm.
But um,
I,
yeah,
I
speaking of,
I gotta ask you though before did you think that this fight would go down like it did? Did you think Cory Sandhagen would get the knockout finish against someone like Marlon?
I didn't know, to be honest. I didn't have any kind of strong predictions going into this. Uh, I thought either guy could knock the other out. I knew they both had power. When you look at Marlon, a 135er that is built like a bulldog, um, you might think he is significantly more powerful than Cory. Cory's 5'11", skinny guy. Well, he looks skinny, but that can be deceiving. Hence Israel Adesanya. But uh, I didn't necessarily have a strong prediction going into this. I didn't look at this fight the way I looked at like Paulo and Israel, where I was
Oh
like, oh my
God,
God,
don't
Israel's
remind me.
gonna like, where I like, I'm able to kind of predict the outcome pretty almost spot on. This I didn't know. I didn't really have any kind of strong prediction. Um I don't feel like I've studied either guy enough to make a strong prediction like
Yeah.
that. And they're both it's such a good matchup. Um, that I don't think you can make a really concrete prediction about either of these guys. Which is good. I mean that's good work on the matchmaker's part, right? You
Hmm.
don't want to go into these fights and know and feel like you know exactly who's going to win and how they're going to do it, and it's not even a question. You want to go in with a bunch of questions, and that's how I felt about this main event. I went in with a bunch of questions, and Sandhagen answered them for me.
I honestly thought Marlon would make quick work of Cory just because of his killing spree before Henry Cejudo. You remember what kind of killing spree he went on?
Yeah,
Dude
dude.
was a serial killer.
Dude's
Jesus.
insane.
Yeah, he's really top talent, but I underestimated Cory quite a bit. I looked at his loss to Aljamain, and Aljamain's he's a rock star. I mean, it's losing to him and isn't really that doesn't hurt your stock that much. You know what I mean?
No, dude. I think
So
Aljamain is he might be the guy to beat Peter Yan.
yeah, I
I don't know.
agree. I hope he does for Ally Quinta's sake. But yeah, I predicted this one
Yeah, I
hella
love
wrong.
Aljo. I'd love to see him win as well.
I just want to see Ally Quinta get the belt.
It's not his.
Uh,
Yeah.
in lightweight. So wait, if you put Ally Quinta up against that wouldn't work. I was gonna say if Justin ever beat Khabib, would Justin versus Al ever lead to Al beating Justin? I don't think so.
Wait, what? Say that again.
I know I worded that very badly,
Would
very poor
Justin
word.
beat Al.
If Justin beat Khabib, got the title, and for some reason Al decided to fight for the title, you know, would he ever have a chance? I'm just trying to picture any possible road to the title where Al could actually get it, and I'm not finding one, and I'm
I
very
think Al
upset.
has a better shot beating Justin than he had beating Khabib, and he gave Khabib probably the toughest fight of his career.
I love you.
Their
I
styles
love you, Al.
are I think Al does better with that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, power
matchup
striking.
than.
The only thing that hurts my opinion on him is Cowboy. How fucking bad he decimated Al. But Cowboy's you know, it's Cowboy. He's dangerous. You know, you can't fuck around with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I don't know about Al.
It's not looking good for my boy Al. He's too busy hanging out in grocery stores in our neighborhoods. You know. But
I wonder
enough about Al.
I wonder if that was him that day.
It was, but enough about Al. This is Cory Sandhagen's night, all right. This is Edson Barboza's night.
Oh shit! I like almost forgot about to talk about Edson. Dude, you look good.
I
You
didn't
look
know it
real
was
good.
him. I've never seen him with hair.
Yeah, he looks a lot different.
His skin color was extremely dark too. I don't remember it being that dark.
Yeah,
I
you
thought
got a fucking tan.
yeah.
Um,
He's been crisping himself in the Brazilian sunlight. Just
has he always
God.
had that beard too? I feel like his beard
No.
was heavier.
No, he's always had just the bald head, no facial hair, lighter skin. And he
Mhm.
comes in with this disguise on, like he's trying to fool somebody. It's like the Hitman disguise. But
Yeah, that was a terrific fight.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Marquand Americani, but yeah, Edson looked real good. I think one of the judges scored it 29-28. I mean, still for Edson, but like, bro, what were you watching?
nah, that wasn't it.
There was a fucking 10-8 round in there. Like what? What? I could be wrong about that, but I saw. I swear I saw someone say like, "Who the fuck gave him a 29-28?" Like that's insanity. Edson dominated. He looked real good. It's another guy still got it. You know, seemingly late in his career, still taking out these young studs.
Edson's one of my favorite guys, but I feel like he just doesn't get like the recognition he deserves. You know what I'm saying?
I think people know he's a dog, like the hardcore MMA fans. Like they really, I think hardcore guys really appreciate him because he's been in some wars, particularly the Felder fight.
I mean, he fought Tony too. Didn't he fight Khabib? He did. Yeah. He's
Khabib destroyed him,
Yeah.
like bad.
Maybe that's why he gets
Real
discredited
bad.
pretty quickly. He's one of my favorites though, and I just don't know why. I just love the way he fights,
His
his
kicks
style,
are
his kicks. Yeah, there's just so
insane.
much power behind everything he throws. Even
Yeah.
he can look at you and you would feel it. You know, he's got just this power to him.
He's
And
ice cold.
yeah, and it's not like Marlon where he kind of gasses out. He seems like he's just always fresh. He's almost like a better Marlon Moraes. I don't know. They're very similar stylistically and build wise too.
Yeah, they do have
I mean,
somewhat similar
yeah,
body
I wouldn't
types.
say the kicking is similar, but you know what I'm saying.
No, Edson's kicks are
The power
insane.
punching is probably the closest thing that they have together.
Edson's got some of the best kicking in the sport. But did you see after the fight he said to Felder, he was like, "Come on, let's do it a third time." Like,
Oh,
get it.
that's what he was saying?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I don't think in like a trash talky
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
more of like a playful kind of way,
Yeah.
but I think those two guys they do have a lot of respect for each other, given you know how much they've beaten the shit out of each other. Those two, yeah, it's just one of those matchups, you know, Edson and Felder. It's just a
It's a
terrific
classic,
fight, but
yeah.
it's a classic, yeah. But yeah, I mean Edson looked great. I'm in the same boat as you. I love Edson Barboza. I love him, watching him every time he performs. I also really love Americani. So I hope he comes back from this real strong. I have to imagine when you're a younger dude. I mean, Americani's been around for a little bit now, but still, compared to Edson, the younger dude, when you go toe to toe like that with a vet for 3 rounds, and you know, I mean, all respect, but get your ass handed to you. I have to imagine it does do something for your game, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's going to depend on the fighter, of course, and their mental state. You could be like a Ronda Rousey and never come back from a loss, or you could be, you know, one of these guys that learns from a loss and really comes back 10 times stronger after facing off a vet like that. So, and Americani strikes me as the kind of guy, especially since, you know, he showed so much respect for Edson Barboza after the fight, that I think he's going to learn a lot from this fight, and we're going to see improvement in his game. But it was Edson Barboza's night for sure, and I don't really know what you do next with Edson. I mean, so this was what, his second fight at featherweight?
Yes.
And the first one was it the one the song? Oh no, it was Dan Ige. Dan Ige was his first.
It was.
Fight. Was it his first fight?
Me...
Yeah, it was. Okay, so he, in 2019, he lost twice at lightweight. He lost to Felder and he lost to Justin Gaethje. Now in 2020, he's had 2 fights at featherweight, and he's won both of them again. Or no, he lost against Dan Ige. Sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember that being kind of controversial.
I think I do too. I know Dan Ige put up a... Oh yeah, it was a split decision. Dan Ige's a great guy, but I think there was some controversy there in terms of who won.
Yeah.
Obviously,
and the Felder fight back in 2019 for sure. For sure, some questionable scoring there. And hey, you know how much I always praise Felder. He is my top 3 of all time.
Yeah.
It's like Felder, Cowboy, and Rory McDonald. Those are like my guys. Like I adore those dudes. Yeah, some questionable stuff there.
What happened?
But hey, it makes for a great trilogy, right?
Yeah, it does. It does. You have 1 win, 1 loss. Get the rubber match going, you know.
Yeah.
I got a question. What happened to Rory McDonald? Yeah, I know you just mentioned him. I forgot about him because he's so
he
active.
went over to Bellator. He became welterweight champ.
Yeah.
Then he went up to middleweight. Gegard Mousasi murdered him, and then he found Jesus.
Is that what happened? That's the last thing I heard from him was his death, basically, at the hands of the middleweight king, and I don't remember hearing anything else.
Well, that's because Mousasi is a fucking animal,
I mean,
and I think would give most middleweights in the UFC
Yeah.
a real pro. Like that dude is. I think he might be. I mean, I don't know how well he would do against Adesanya, but
I would say he'd put up a better fight than someone like Yoel or Costa.
Yeah. Let's look up what Rory McDonald had. I don't think he's been very active lately, and the reason that is because he married the most beautiful woman on earth, and she converted him into a hardcore Christian. and you know what? I respect it. It's funny because I just Google him, and it says people also ask what happened to Rory McDonald, which is what you just asked.
It's weird.
Okay, so let's see. McDonald faced Bellator MMA welterweight champ Douglas Lima at Bellator 192 on January 20th, 2018. He won the back-and-forth fight by unanimous decision. He sustained an injury with big swelling on the shin of his leg midway through. Okay, but he won, so like who cares? Let's see what he's been up to. His most recent. Oh, he lost to Douglas Lima again?
Yeah, they fought back in the day, and then I think
no. In 2019, he lost to Douglas Lima.
Oh, you fought Douglas Lima.
Yeah. I've been out of the loop. I'll be honest.
I've
been out of the Bellator loop for some time now. So beats Douglas Lima in 2018, wins the welterweight championship, goes up to middleweight, loses to Mousasi, then fights John Fitch for the welterweight title, and it's a draw. Then he beats Namian Gracie, who I remember that. I remember this. And then so he beats Namian Gracie, unanimous decision. Then he fights Douglas Lima again, and Lima beats him by unanimous decision and becomes welterweight champ. And that was in October 26th, so almost exactly a year ago, October 26, 2019. So he hasn't fought in just about a year. He had a really strange post-fight interview recently. I don't know if it was after. I think it might have been after the Lima loss. Yeah, I think it might have been after his most recent loss where he was like, I just don't really like hurting people anymore.
Yeah, I think I know
And I
what
was
you're
like,
talking about.
whoa. Um, yeah,
I
he's had this very um, oh, on December 18th, 2019, it was announced that McDonald had signed with Professional Fighters League. Okay.
really? Oh, I guess he does like hurting people.
Weird. Okay.
Strange.
And here it says McDonald was raised Catholic. However, he left the faith early on in his life. In 2019, however, he became a born again Christian after saying that he had an encounter with God.
Oh, fuck.
McDonald and his wife Olivia have a daughter Maya, born 2016, and a son Rocky, born 2019. Dude, his wife. Have you ever seen her?
Yes. Good for him, man. Good for
Jesus
him. He found
Christ.
himself.
How is that? What?
He doesn't seem like he has the best personality, but I guess he packs.
Rory?
He packs a punch.
God, how
you know what I'm
dare
saying?
you? I love Rory.
He's a sweet dude, but he doesn't look like the type of guy to, you know.
He looks like a serial killer.
He does.
He looks.
He kind of is.
He looks like a white supremacist. I'm not even gonna lie. Look at
I mean,
like
he's a
pictures of
good-looking
him.
dude. Yeah.
Like he dresses so plainly, and
Yeah.
he wears like these serial killer glasses. Where I'm like, are you in the fucking Aryan Brotherhood?
He's wearing like a Nazi overcoat in this one. Willow, you don't like that,
Willie,
do you, buddy?
Willie doesn't
Aw.
like Nazis,
Willow.
which is good.
Where the oh, great. It disabled my ability. Okay.
Well, that's the end, folks. Willie has condemned white supremacy, unlike
No.
President Donald J. Trump.
Don't end it. We have to talk about the fat dude. That's my spirit animal. Ben Rothwell, yes. Okay, so
God, Matt.
I'm sorry, okay? He's a big dude. He's got a lot of fat on him.
He
Let's
is.
just be honest here. But
He
he
is.
had fight of the night times 3. I think Dana gave him $300,000 for that fight, if I want to say correctly.
Well, he did lose.
It's not about who won. It's about taking part in that extraordinary event. That's going down in history, actually.
That's what Connor said, right? We're not here to take over. We're here just to take part.
Did you see in his post-fight interview, Joe Biden called him and was congratulating him on it and everything? It's crazy. It's just like the Colby Covington thing with Trump.
Was there anything you had to say about this, or did you just want to be an ass?
No, dude, I love Ben Rothwell. I feel bad. No, I had nothing to say about it. It was very upsetting, but I have nothing to say.
Also, Marcus Perez lost. He's the guy that wears Joker makeup to all of his like good Joker, like straight up like movie quality Joker makeup, to all his what the fuck am I stare downs. And then I saw on MMAfighting.com they posted the post-fight press conference with his opponent. I don't know how to say this dude's name. I think it's Driscus Duplessis. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I think he's in where's this dude from? He has like kind of an Australian accent.
I think I know who you're talking about. But...
Yeah, but this guy in his post-fight interview, somebody asked him like, "Oh, what'd you think about, like his makeup and everything at the stare down?" And he was like, "Well, I'm not here to make jokes. All right, we're gladiators. And you think gladiators laughed at each other when they went in there to kill each other? Do you think they put on clown makeup?" And all the comments were just roasting him, being like, "Shut the fuck up!
Get this
like,
guy out of
such
here,
a bitch." And let's see if my comment got any likes, because I'm a fiend for them hot takes on MMA Instagram pages. And yeah, I think it's important that I mention the fact that I made a comment on a UFC post about the Conor McGregor Dustin Poirier fight, the one back, the first fight, not the prospect upcoming one, and I got like 1,800 likes. But I also had about 70 people yelling at me, telling me I'm a piece of shit casual clown and I should kill myself.
I mean, it's kind of true though. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, I'm a filthy casual scumbag, but I commented on. I only got one like on this one. I just said that he must be fun at parties.
Aww.
But let the record show
You
that I
still had that.
received 1,800 likes on that one UFC post where I said all I said. The only thing I said, I did not degrade Conor McGregor at all. I literally just said Dustin has gotten so much better, and I think he'd give Conor a much tougher fight today.
That's like,
and people fucking lost it on me.
That's such a
It was
neutral
like,
thing to say. You're not picking any sides. You're just being
I'm literally
honest.
just saying it'd be a good fight because
Yeah.
Dustin's improved a lot, which he has. Like, you can't tell me Dustin Poirier has not gotten significantly better in the last 5 years. Like, if you say he has not improved since that first, like, you're just objectively wrong. Like, if you want to tell me you think Conor would still beat him, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I will. You could still make that argument. But if you tell me he has not improved at all, like, you're just wrong. I'm sorry. And I did not say Conor has also not improved. Like, I know Conor has improved as well. Like, Conor still got it. I'm not saying but yeah, the Conor fans fucking lost their minds on me and were like, casual clown.
Casual. That's ironic that they called you casual.
Yeah, really, because
objectively looking at MMA and making like you're not like, this isn't subjective, like, oh, I think he'll win. Like, you're looking at facts. You're looking at, like, this guy improved. This guy maybe didn't as much. I think this would be more interesting now, given their past, you know? Like, you're just being honest. You're not picking a side.
And do casual clowns, like, even know Dustin Poirier?
No.
Casual clowns think Conor McGregor would annihilate Stipe Miocic. So, like,
that's a fair point. Yeah.
Yeah. I am a victim here, Matthew.
I'm triggered.
I've been victimized. I demand justice.
That's a hate
crime.
No,
I don't actually give a shit because 1,800 people agreed with me, which is the most likes I've ever gotten on anything ever. And I know it doesn't actually mean anything, and I will never be remembered for my heroic deeds, but I think about it every night before I go to bed, so...
I would say it's a pretty nice accomplishment. You know,
it means nothing. It's a non-accomplishment.
But dude, MMA fans are very difficult to please. First of all, second of all, it's hard to get that many likes on any kind of comment on any subject ever, let alone MMA. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a pretty good accomplishment. You should put that on your resumes for, like...
How many subscribers do we have on this channel? Like 30?
No. 31. Sir.
So before we get to the highlight of the night and one of the greatest knockouts in UFC history, I'm sure everyone knows what we're alluding to. But before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about, not much, I don't really have much to say, to be honest, about the fight before that, which was on the prelims, Ali Al-Casey versus Tony Kelly. This was my personal fight of the night. I thought this was a terrific fight. A lot of scrambling, a lot of back and forth grappling, tons of submission attempts, a lot of knockdowns. It was just a really awesome back and forth fight. It was my personal fight of the night. If you didn't watch it, because it was kind of early in the night on the prelims, and I'm sure it's, been, well, most of the card, I would say, has been overshadowed by that astonishing knockout. But I encourage you, if you're a jiu-jitsu fan and just a fan of watching high-level grappling and scrambles and all that kind of stuff, as much as I am, I encourage everyone to go back and watch that fight because it was really cool. That's all I really had to say about that. But now the meat on all of these bones, Matthew. Joaquin Buckley gives us one of the greatest knockouts ever over Impa Kasaganai.
I was shocked. I want to explain what it's kind of a funny story what happened here. It's not long or anything, but I looked away for a split second during this fight. And I look back and I see Impa Kasaganai standing in the middle of the octagon alone. Joaquin Buckley's not nowhere near him, just collapsing, standing like dazed, collapsing onto the floor. I'm like, what happened? I looked over, this dude's just standing alone in the middle of the octagon, dying. What just happened? I hear everyone screaming. Oh my god.
That kick knocked him out on his feet.
Yeah,
like, it wasn't a knockout where he fell over, hit his head on the canvas, and was knocked and was KO'd. he was out the moment that kick landed, and then the rest, yeah, and then he just fell over like a log, just stiff, eyes back. You could see the UFC uploaded a slow mo, really like high quality video of it on their Instagram. You can go watch it. His eyes, it's scary, dude. The moment the kick hits him, his eyes are back. They're at the ceiling, and then
yeah,
he just it's just timber after that.
it was scary.
I mean,
The thing about like strikes in general and what strikes knock you out, you hear a lot about the ones you don't see coming or the ones that do the most damage and will knock you out the easiest.
yes,
And you think when you catch someone's kick, the last thing you think they're going to do is throw a spinning kick off of your catch to your face. And that, if anyone didn't watch it, that's what happened. Impa caught a kick, and then Joaquin Buckley threw a spinning back kick off of the catch, hit him right in the face. Perfect shot. I think it was actually the jaw. It was like up. It was like the jaw up to the chin. It was such a beautiful strike, and that's one that you will just not see coming. But maybe from now on, I think people are going to be practicing that kind of move a little more because it's kind of effective. What can you do to prevent that from happening? You know what I mean? If you catch someone's kick and they do that taekwondo move, there's not much you could do to stop it because your hands they're down. You just have to rely on movement at that point, and I think it's a compromising position now that I'm seeing this kind of thing happen. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't.
it was just crazy the way so he used, like, when Impa caught the kick, he allowed himself to be, like, turned. Like, Impa was turning him, like parrying the kick and turning him, and he used that momentum to spin and then throw the other kick. And the reason you never see this, the people doing this, is because there's literally a moment where you're airborne. You're completely, both feet are off the ground. You're flying, that, and most people don't want to do. It's kind of like a drop kick. Most people don't want to do that because it's scary to throw yourself in the air like that. And I mean, yeah, like you said, it's the one that you never see coming. And just the one thing that stuck out in my mind last night after seeing that knockout and then the Cory Sandhagen knockout was Nick Diaz's famous words to Carlos Condit. So we're throwing spin and shit now? Because last night, dude, was the night of spin and shit.
It really was.
We saw some spinning back fists, not any that KO'd, but I think Tony Kelly threw some crazy spinning back fists against Ali Al-Casey in that fight I was just talking about. Then we had the spinning fucking crazy flying heel. I don't even know what you call it.
I don't know what you'd call it.
Spinning back kick off a parry.
It's so weird that you can't even name it properly.
But also jumping.
There's got to be a name for it out there, and maybe people just haven't figured it out yet.
People smarter than us. I just went on Instagram, and Impa Kasaganai said, Joe Rogan reposted it. Impa Kasaganai says today, "God bless you. It was an honor to step in the octagon with you and do what I love. Safe travels to you and your team. Beautiful shot. Way to fight. I will improve." Now this is the reason that shit was hard for me to watch. Not just because it was brutal, and I was very happy for Joaquin Buckley. I mean, good for him. That knockout he is going to be remembered for that forever. He can never fight again. Like he could quit MMA today. That knockout will always be remembered. He's cemented his place in MMA fandom and history for that. But I hate to see it happen to a guy like Impa Kasaganai because he's so fucking cool. Obviously, from what I just read to you, he's such a cool guy. He seems like just such a respectful, kind dude. And I'm a big fan of him. And I do believe he'll be back stronger. And I can't wait to see what else he did. Both guys, I can't wait to see what else they do in MMA. But Yeah, dude. I mean, I just
That's what we said about
I
Ben
wish.
Askren when Jorge knocked him out. He'll
Yeah,
be back. He'll be back, and
exactly.
never came back.
Well,
That's a different story,
yeah,
but
but
somewhat similar.
it was the same thing for us though. We were both of us. I'll never forget that time standing in your living room watching that knockout with you. It was one of the most insane moments of us watching fights together ever. I mean, I that and probably Stipe and DC.
Oh, the second one, yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it on here before. That was probably those two moments were probably the most memorable, moments of us watching fights together ever. But it was so the Askren Masvidal knockout. It was so bittersweet for us because we were both so high on Ben Askren, and we loved him. I still love him so much. I think he's still fucking hilarious, and I love following him on social media. But we were both so like just dumbfounded by what we just saw and so impressed with Jorge, but we were also so sad for Ben.
Yeah.
And because that knockout will follow him forever, and that's how I feel about Impa Askren or Impa Kasaganai. Impa Askren, as I've been calling him. That knockout's gonna follow him forever, and it makes me sad. But I'm real happy for Joaquin.
I was gonna say Joaquin's he's gonna be someone that people keep an eye on from now on. He could be a superstar after this if they market it right, and he does similar shit again. He can very well just start rising to the top of being like a fan favorite. Obviously not like a title contender, but like as a prospect. I mean what a guy. You don't see that kind of thing often, and I kind of want to go back and watch some of his other fights now because I've never seen him fight before.
They were both contender dudes, am I right? Impa definitely was.
I don't think Joaquin was, but I could be wrong. Because there's a lot of names on there. Yeah.
Yeah, contender is.
It's coming back.
Some good ones.
Early November.
Oh, yeah,
and what's
right.
funny is that Khabib and Justin fight in 2 weeks. I didn't know that. Wow. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? Ortega and Korean Zombies next week, and then the week after is Khabib and Justin.
Ooh, I'm excited for Ortega and Korean Zombie.
I hope that Korean Zombie murders Brian Ortega.
So, I was wrong. Joaquin Buckley was not on contender. He was actually he fought in Bellator first. How about that?
Wow.
His first fight Bellator was on a card that Michael Chandler headlined, and then he went over to LFA for 2 fights, won twice there. Then comes to the UFC on the Lewis versus Olenek card and loses to Kevin Holland, who I'm also a very, very big fan of. And then last night, the Kasaganai fight.
I mean, losing to Kevin Holland, that's not something that'll bring your stock down. I like this guy.
Especially after that fucking knockout, man. No. Jesus.
This is a guy to keep an eye on. Numansa. Did you see his reaction to Dana White? Telling him like just Dana White reacting to it in general.
No.
It's very cute.
What happened?
He's like, "You're gonna make me cry." he seems like a really nice dude. I like him a lot.
How was Dana reacting? Was he just like,
"Oh yeah,
shit"?
He was extremely he was happy. I mean, that's gonna bring a lot of eyes on the sport.
Yeah.
That's good for the sport. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, dude. One of my roommates, he's not into MMA at all, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I saw that shit trending on Twitter today."
That's whack. That's really whack.
I mean, it's good, I guess.
It is good. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Some people are gonna look at that shit and be like, "Oh my god, MMA, disgusting, barbarian sport."
Well, you're not wrong.
It's that dude said they're gladiators, man. No jokes, all right? No joke around.
Dude, all right?
No fun here, all right? Trying to kill each other.
Fuck that guy.
He's like, we go in there to kill each other.
No,
No,
you
man.
don't.
You don't.
That's a terrible way to think about it.
Like, I mean, I saw somebody comment on it. They were like, there's a whole damn commission designed so that you don't kill each other. What are you talking about? There's a whole fucking business and organization built around you guys not doing that.
Shut up. That guy's a little messed up.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I understand you gotta be serious about it. It is. I mean, you do risk your life every time you go in there, and I respect that, but...
Yeah, you risk your life going in there with him. He's trying to fucking kill you. God damn. I don't want to go in there with him.
Yeah, but...
He just pulls out a shiv and starts shanking you.
He brought a knife into the octagon. He's like, yeah, I thought we were gladiators, man.
We're trying to kill each other, right?
You're lucky I didn't bring my fucking cutlass.
Oh, God. What a dude.
So our next thing we're going to talk about is the presidential and vice presidential debates. That's our next topic.
Kyle, how did you feel about both of them? I was like watching a press conference at a...
Oh, it
Jones
absolutely
versus
was.
DC.
Absolutely was. And they even marketed it as such.
They did.
They marketed it like a fucking UFC pay-per-view.
Do you think Dana White had any play in that? He's good friends with the president.
I mean, yeah, they're tight, so...
He probably gave him the whole game plan. That's his coach right there. You see Dana White in his corner.
Dana White's like, listen, just go in there and yell a lot.
Just don't let him talk, dude.
Just don't let him speak. If he can't speak, he can't debate.
God damn, right. That's a solid strategy, though. And it works if you can get away with it, so fuck it.
Like, he was literally just... Every time Sleepy Joe said something, he was just going, wrong, no. And it's like, what if he says something true? What if he says something just factual? What if Joe was like, listen, ladies and gentlemen, the sky is blue. And then Donald's like, no. Whatever. Can't wait for the rematch. And then...
Maybe the rubber match after that, too.
Yeah, it's a trilogy, right?
I think it's supposed to be.
Biggest trilogy since Stipe DC.
I want this debate to be on Fight Island next. On the beach.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. That'd be beautiful. I think that's pretty much it, though. Anything else worth talking about?
Done with this shit.
All right, looking good, brother.
I had enough.
Grumpy Kyle, here we go. Sleepy Kyle.
Sleepy, cause I'm still salty over all those people that attacked me on Instagram.
I couldn't find your comment, dude. I scrolled for years. I thought it would be the first one that shows up, but it's not.
It's one of the top comments.
It doesn't sort them
like that
from me, bruv. My Instagram is from... I haven't updated Instagram in years, dude. It's the Instagram from, like, the 90s. Let me tell you.
Well, I'm looking at our Audacity recording right now, and it says disk space remaining for recording 19 hours and 40 minutes. So I think if that's what we have to work, like, we should probably use our time. Like, I mean, I should probably it'd be a little shitty to not use up all our disk space.
I have 36 hours, so I think you're a little. You need to go out and buy a new hard drive. I'll keep the audience entertained while you do that. Sound good?
Just have Willow bark into the mic.
Yes. She's pissed. She's just staring at me.
All that Nazi talk really got her.
It really did, dude. It
really got her going.
Rory McDonald, authoritarian dictatorship talk. It really got her. All right. Thanks for watching.
Adios. Thanks for watching, one person.
I will see you.